Hey everyone, it's Kevin, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you how to transition to a plant-based diet. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video, and if you want to speak with me, there is a link below. I've also launched a new 14-day challenge, Junk Food Domination. If you want to join, there is also a link below. My story with eating disorders actually started when I transitioned to a plant-based diet. When I was 20 years old, I was eating okay. I remember eating sweet potatoes and total cereal. There was definitely room for improvement. I wasn't eating a terrible diet, but there were some things that I shouldn't have been eating. And when I was in my third year of college, so I'm about 20, 21 years old at the time, I wanted to get really healthy. I remember reading foods about superfoods, and that's when I discovered acai berry. That was the big thing at the time. And then I went to go work at Whole Foods, so everything came together at one point. I had good intentions, but the execution was off, and execution is everything. So when I made that transition to a plant-based diet and I stopped eating meat, I remember still eating shrimp and fish, but not much else. I didn't do it the correct way. There's a right way to transition to a plant-based diet, and there's the wrong way. And in this video, I want to help you do it the right way. A lot of times when people transition to a vegan or vegetarian diet, they say they're doing it for health. They say they want to cut out processed foods, but a lot of times I think that's a cover for an eating disorder. Then they lose a lot of weight, as I did. They become emaciated, they become malnourished, and they don't do it the right way. So they're pretending like they're doing it for health, but really they want to do it because they're orthorexic. See my previous video on that. Or they have some weight issues, some body image issues. And when you go vegan, you tend to lose weight. You can gain weight on a vegan diet if you drink soda and eat potato chips. Technically those are vegan, but usually when people go vegan, they don't do that. They eat lot more fruits and vegetables, and they cut out a lot of processed food, which are good things, but you still need calories and you still need vitamins and minerals. So when I made that transition, I cut out stuff like potatoes, and I was eating fewer nuts, and I remember eating puffed cereal instead of regular cereal because it was a larger volume and I could eat a larger quantity of it, even though it tasted like nothing and it didn't provide me nearly enough carbohydrates, and I should have just been eating regular cereal. I had nothing to fear when I was a 21-year-old active male. It's really hard to gain weight when you're running an hour and a half a day and you're walking around at your job and you're 21 and you're not eating any processed food. It's kind of hard. I don't know what I was fearing. Well, I kind of know now, but I had no reason for it. It was completely irrational. Had I never made that transition to a plant-based diet, I would have never developed an eating disorder. Well, maybe I would have, but I would have never started this YouTube channel. So maybe everything worked out for good. The first thing I want to say is be honest with your intentions. Why are you transitioning to a plant-based diet? Are you doing it because you think it's going to make a noticeable improvement in your health, because you need to lose weight, because you want to look better, because you want to eat fewer processed foods? Just be honest about it. I wish I had been honest. I was doing it because I said I wanted to be healthy, but I had some weight issues. I had some body image issues. I had no self-confidence, no self-esteem, no goals. Yeah, there were a lot of things going on. I've explained my story in previous videos, but I was not honest about what my intentions were. If you transition to a plant-based diet, you should do it because you think it's going to make you healthier. And after just a few months, I was not healthier. I was less healthy. I had more doctor's appointments in an 18-month span than I've had in the rest of my life combined. I had bleeding in my eye. I had no energy. I was anemic. I was always tired. The signs were there, and I was not paying attention. This is why I always say that intentions are fine, but execution is everything. You've got to do it the right way. So if you want to transition to a plant-based diet, you need to include a variety of different foods to get it what you need. Yes, fruits and vegetables are good, and I did well in that department. I remember spending 40 minutes a day chopping all my vegetables and putting them in bags and carrying a cooler around the college campus like an idiot, when really I should have just packed some nuts, a banana, and a couple of Cliff Bars and called it a day. I'm not saying eating fruits and vegetables all day is necessarily a bad thing, but it can definitely interfere with your life. You should get fruits and vegetables. Everybody should get those, but I don't recommend that that's all you eat. What about nuts? What about legumes? What about whole grains? What about potatoes, which is technically a vegetable, but it's a starchy vegetable? What about soy? What about meat substitutes? What about protein shakes? There are so many things you can eat as a vegan, especially these days, that there's no reason why you can't eat a variety of foods and why you should only eat fruits and vegetables. If you have a really sluggish metabolism or you have a propensity to gain weight, then definitely maximize low-calorie foods like fruits and vegetables because it's going to fill you up faster. But if you're active and you don't gain weight fast, or you're young, or weight is not an issue, then you should be eating more nuts. You should be eating more avocado. You should have some high-protein snacks. I'm not saying you should eat a really high-fat diet. That's another mistake a lot of plant-based eaters make, especially the raw vegan ones. They eat tons of nuts. Nuts are fine. You can include those in your diet, but don't go overboard with the fat. Even today, I eat a relatively low-fat diet, like 20% fat, nothing crazy. But there are so many foods and so many options for vegans these days that you should be eating a variety. Get your protein, get your good carbs, and get a little bit of fat. Don't eat nothing but baby carrots and bell peppers. If you're not eating a plant-based diet and you want to go to a plant-based diet, take inventory. What are you eating now and what is it that you want to eat, and make one small change today. So what I say is be impatient patient. So get the process started now. Don't wait to get this started. Don't wait to make changes. Make one change today and then make one change tomorrow, then the next day, and then the next day. Your brain won't even notice the change. If you try to change everything at once, it's too much. And I think that was my problem, is I radically altered my diet overnight. And it was like one day I was eating whatever, and then the next day I wasn't eating any of it, and I paid for it. So if you're eating, let's say, chicken or beef every night, maybe have chicken or beef for 5 days a week. If you're eating yogurt every day, replace the regular yogurt, the dairy yogurt, with soy yogurt, something like that. Make one or two changes. Don't change everything overnight. You don't have to. You don't have to change everything in one day. I don't get that. I don't know why we procrastinate to make change, and then once we make the change, we want everything to change at once. Do the opposite. This is why I think it's important to keep your macros balanced. I don't count macros. I don't count calories anymore either. Used to be obsessed with that. I don't think it makes much difference if you eat 65% carbs versus 52% carbs. I think there's a difference between 65% carbs and 65% fat. That's really different, but don't sit there and count. Be a little more intuitive about that. So if you understand that nuts are high in fat, high in calories, and fruits and vegetables are not, then you know that you should be eating more fruits and vegetables if you want more carbs, and fewer nuts if you want less fat, or vice versa. You also know that stuff like tofu, tempeh, seitan, protein powder, hemp seeds, those are higher in protein. So if you want to maximize your protein, then eat more of those. I think most vegans do well on a higher carb diet. Vegan, by definition, is high carb. I've seen keto vegan. I don't know what they're eating. If it's nothing but protein powder and, I don't know, tofu and some vegetables. It's kind of hard to eat low carb vegan. It just doesn't jive. If you go to a plant-based diet, understand that you are probably going to eat more carbs, because high-fat, high-protein foods typically tend to be dairy and animal products, because dairy and animal products don't contain a lot of carbs unless you add sugar and sauce to it. Be comfortable eating carbs. If you're not comfortable eating carbs and you're minimizing your carbs and you're restricting your carbs, then don't go to a high-carb vegan diet in one day. Add one carb source a day. So if you're only eating, let's say, 50 carbs a day, add a banana. Okay, now that bumps you up to, 70 carbs in one day? So be gradual with it. But I think that if you're going to go vegan, you need to be comfortable with carbs. No question. Experimentation is another key too. Like I said, there are so many different types of plant-based foods these days. They're always coming out with more. But we have so many protein bars and snack bars and protein powders and specialty foods. I look at my Instagram feed every day. There's something new every day. They're targeting me, I know. Somehow they know that I like vegan foods, and kind of scary sometimes. But I'm seeing new products all the time. We don't see new fruits and vegetables all the time. Those are fixed. But there are still lots of different varieties that you haven't tried. For example, apples. How many types of apples are there? If you look, dozens, just in your own area. If you live in a place like I don't know, Michigan or Washington State, you probably have dozens and dozens of varieties, because those are that's apple country. And that's just one fruit. You can find so many different types of fruits, so many different types of vegetables. There are so many recipes that we have these days that you can try. So experiment a little bit. If you don't like cooking, go to your local restaurants and see if you can order something vegan or vegetarian. That's always fun, especially if you go to a chain restaurant like Applebee's. Like, what is vegetarian at Applebee's? I don't know. French fries? But it is an exercise. You really have to look sometimes. So if you don't like cooking, then try some of the ethnic restaurants. They usually have some good vegan dishes. Most restaurants these days are progressive enough to have at least 1 or 2 vegetarian dishes. Even if you live in a small town in the Midwest, you can probably find something. If you're from the Midwest and I'm wrong, let me know. No offense to the Midwest. My point is, experiment with new recipes, new foods, new products, new restaurants. It's going to make your transition a lot easier, and it's going to make it a lot easier to stick to the diet. My next tip for you is to avoid vegan processed food. There's plenty of it. Go down the gluten-free aisle and you'll see it. A lot of the snack bars and the energy bars, I'm not huge fans of those. Most of those are not vegan, but now I see a lot more of those. I only eat those when it's convenient. If I don't have access to appliances, or if I'm traveling, or if I'm in the car all day, then those come in handy. Even so, you can probably pack a bag of baby carrots and some nuts and you'll be fine. But those kinds of foods have their place. Don't rely on them. And there's a lot of things like veggie chips and sun chips that seem somewhat healthier, but they're not. There's some vegan frozen foods too. Those are okay. I recommend Amy's. I like the Amy's brand. They have like the burritos and the frozen dishes. Those can get really expensive, so try to watch the cost. But just because something is vegan doesn't make it healthy. Remember, soda and potato chips are both vegan, so try to minimize the finger food. Even stuff like trail mix, I don't recommend eating trail mix, especially if you're sedentary and just sitting all day. If you're taking a hike or you're moving a lot, then yes, trail mix makes sense. But be conscious of calories, be conscious of the processed high-fat foods. Processed foods tend to have one of two things: a lot of sugar and a lot of oil, or it's a combination of sugar and oil or starch and oil. So think about crackers and chips. Okay, they're very processed. You open the bag, you eat them, easy to overconsume. So don't conflate vegan foods with healthy foods. It's not always true. Finally, I recommend that you watch this channel and other YouTube channels. There are so many good vegan channels. Vegans have done very well on YouTube. I'm seeing a new vegan channel every day. There's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of vegan channels, and I wish I could watch all of them at some point, but there's probably a new vegan channel every day. There are so many recipes and so many tips out there. YouTube, when I transitioned to a plant-based diet when I was in college, YouTube hardly existed. It was stupid cat videos and people taking videos on their own old flip phones. The picture quality wasn't great. It wasn't anything like it is now. There are so many good resources for vegans and vegetarians. There's no reason why you can't make this transition successfully. In summary, make changes slowly, eat less processed food, be comfortable with carbs, have good intentions, and be honest with yourself. Why are you really making this transition in the first place? Keep your macros balanced, so more carbs, more protein, a little less fat. And don't forget to experiment. Restaurants, YouTube channels, recipes, new products, new fruits and vegetables, and grains that you haven't tried. I hope you found this video educational and entertaining. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to speak with me, there is a link below. If you like this video, I'm sure you'll like one of the other videos that you see on the screen. Click one of them, and I'll see you there.